They can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
Officials in northern Mexico urge residents in more than 24 communities to immediately evacuate Saturday ahead of a massive blaze that exploded in size in one day. According to statistics, the Southwest Coordination Center, the state has seen wildfires burn more acres so far this year, more than 173,000 acres. That's more than 7 of the 8 last years. The fires are part of a series of devastating blazes that have touched parts of the state in recent weeks. CNN reports country music legend Naomi Judd, one half of the duo The Judge, has died. Her daughter Ashley Judd announced on Saturday she was 76. Today we sisters experience a tragedy. We lost our beautiful mother to the disease of mental illness. We are shattered, Ashley Judd said in a statement on Twitter. We are navigating profound grief and know that as we loved her, she was loved by the public. And the statement added, we are in unknown territory. The duo was scheduled to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame on Sunday. This is USA Radio News.
The MyPillow.com clearance continues. Roll and go anywhere with My Pillows, $9.99. The Body Pillow, $39.99. And My Pillow bath sheets on sale, 50% off. Use my promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com/radio specials. You'll also get a free copy of Mike Lindell's book. MyPillow.com/radio specials. Use promo code USA or 1-800-951-8175.
CNN reports the story behind the medal Zelensky awarded to Pelosi. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky gave Nancy Pelosi a few symbolic tokens on her trip to Kyiv on Saturday, thanking the U.S. House Speaker for her support of Ukraine. Zelensky awarded Pelosi with the Order of Princess Olga for her significant personal contribution to strengthening Ukraine and American ties. Olga was the first woman to rule Communist Rus, the first East Slavic state. The order bearing her name is awarded to the women who have achieved significant success in politics and society, the personification in Ukraine of female strength. He also gave Pelosi a Ukrainian flag that he and female members of parliament, including those that she met with at U.S. Capitol recently, had signed, according to Pelosi spokesman Drew Hamill. The month of May brings the first Senate primaries of the year.
May 1st.
On Tuesday, followed
It's
by
May Day.
interweekly
May 1st, right?
that will
May
shape
Day.
the midterm battle for control of the chamber. By the end of the month, the general election matchups in almost half of this year's most competitive races will be set. Republicans only need a net gain of 1 seat this fall to win the Senate. And so far, much of the intrigue about the May primaries has been on the GOP side. Former President Trump has endorsed in all 4 Senate contests on the ballot in May. Ohio, North Carolina, May 17th, Pennsylvania, May 17th, and Georgia, May 24th. Even before results come in, those primaries have cemented his hold on the party.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the
One might
views
want
of
to mention something about that.
ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
If it continues, yeah, that might have just been a one-off. That happens every once in a while. It's just gonna be. It's probably a one-off, and it'll probably be fine tomorrow.
Hey, Joey, what's happening?
New person.
I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and
So they might have not known the
towns?
time.
It's time for the
which is
Middleboro
fine.
Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro News, here on AM 1530 WBBS. Hey, Joey,
Turn on your happy face.
what's happening?
Good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. It is May. Let me say that again. May 1st, 2022. I believe it's May Day today, Dawn. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's May Day today, so if you do celebrate May Day, happy May Day. I don't know if it's May Day here in the United States. I think it might be in Canada, but if you do celebrate May Day,
Happy May Day.
Happy May Day.
Quick thing on May Day. Now that we're talking about it, because just let's talk about it real quick. Now that we just mentioned it, I want to say something about it, because why not? So today is May Day. It's May 1st. First Monday. Well, it falls on, usually celebrated on the first Monday of May in some areas. It's an ancient festival marking the first day of summer. Interesting. And a current traditional spring holiday in many European cultures. Dances, singing, and cake are usually part of the festivities. May Day was chosen as the date of International Workers' Day as well, back in 1889. But it is mostly known for European holidays and festivals and things like that. So, that is May Day. So, Don, your thoughts on May Day?
May Day. Yay. So it's 2022. You didn't mention it was 2022.
Yes, it is May 1st, 2022.
Because you always throw the date in there. I think the whole May Day thing has got you a little off.
Well,
you always say you always say the date.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Exactly. Okay, so that is that. Again, May Day. If
we could have a whole show on May Day.
Exactly, it's interesting. Different kinds of the way it was celebrated and things like that. Different ways. It was interesting. May Day, as well. So, okay.
I think people look at May Day differently too, because April for us is, we're out of the weather, but it's cold. I mean, we've had a cold April. It's been chilly, been a little windy. Heaters hasn't, people have been running their heat. It's cold. Yeah. But May is a different formula as far as people's minds, I think. Because they look at it like, another month with June. It's usually you don't see snow in May. You see it in April sometimes. Yeah. Very, very rare getting snow. So you're out of the snow threat anyway, number one. I just think people look at May first differently than say April first. Because hopefully we'll start getting some warmer weather.
Yes.
And usually May has, a lot of the festivals start opening up. A lot of the attractions really start to open up. Nothing's really opened up in April. Most places open June, but May is usually the time where a lot of these seasonal companies and attractions start to open up. So it's May 1st is very happy, and people are very happy to see it because you got through April, and it's just first day of summer. That article is actually right about what May Day is.
Yeah, there's different meanings of May Day, but right. I think the most important meaning is the festivals and people celebrating it.
It's how I feel. I feel differently on May 1st.
Yeah.
I think we all do.
Yeah, and obviously there's other International Workers' Day as well.
Well, Soviet Union had the big,
that as well.
Back when the Soviet Union was big, they had a big military parade on May 1st. That was their show off your stuff
exactly.
day.
So we have some sad news. The landmark Red Jacket Mountain View Resort in New Hampshire and North Conway. I'm sorry, not Concord. North Conway, New Hampshire, burnt down yesterday. 27 emergency crews from 27 different agencies responded to a large fire at the Red Jacket Mountain View Resort Saturday afternoon. Photos and videos shared by people in the area showed smoke and flames coming out of rooms on the second and third floors. The chief of the North Conway Fire Department says there were 4 injuries, 2 people at the resort and 2 firefighters. None of the injuries are considered to be serious. Don, your thoughts on this fire?
I've driven past that many times, and it's beautiful, beautiful building. It's been there for years. It's a staple of North Conway, the mountains, the North Country community. What's so sad about it is we go through 2 years of a pandemic, and now we're just on the other side, and people are starting to come out and get out for the first time, pretty much, a lot of people. And then they have the fire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if they rebuild, it's going to be years. That's if they decide they're going to rebuild. Sounds to me like the building's a total loss. I mean, when you got roofs caving in, that's a tough thing to... But be interested to see if they rebuild. It's just fires nuts.
All right, we have weather. 74 degrees currently outside of Driscoll, Texas. Anyone who's living in Driscoll, Texas, go outside. It's a nice day outside. 74 degrees. But it is a little cloudy. But it will clear up. It'll be 90 today in Driscoll, Texas. Driscoll, North Dakota, 37 degrees. Total polar opposite. 53 for the high today there in Driscoll, North Dakota. Middleboro, 68 degrees for the high today. Right now it is 36. And in Taunton, 35 degrees. It says it's foggy, but I doubt that because I'm looking out the window here. It's nice and sunny. So that might be an error there. But sunny skies, 35 degrees. Even though it says it's foggy. 68 degrees today, mostly sunny skies. So that is the weather. Quick check on sports.
What about the weather for Middleboro?
I did the weather for
really?
yeah.
Earlier?
Yeah.
I think it sounded like you just went into Driscoll.
No?
No?
I did Driscoll first.
I must just be asleep at the switch. Thank God I'm not running the switches over here. Huh?
I did Driscoll first.
Oh.
Today. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I like to switch it up, do different.
All right.
Do the different the 4 in different order. I'll do that sometimes.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a good friend of mine, Bill, my buddy Bill. He's leaving Melbourne, Florida today to head to Greensboro, Pennsylvania, to go back to his summer place. So I want to wish him Godspeed, and him and his brother Frank going on this journey.
Absolutely,
and it's great because they started it a few years ago, and when my buddy Bill goes from Pennsylvania to Florida, they always ride together. His brother lives in Florida, and it's great that two brothers can do that. It's like a bonding thing. It's like sounds to me it's like it could be a new tradition, as long as they're doing the summer and winter jaunts between Florida and Pennsylvania. And I just love the idea of that, because these traditions families have are important to have. They're bonding experiences. Because, I mean, if you don't spend much time with your brother or whatever, you might visit them, once a year that you can count on that's going to be a time together to be with your brother. And they got to go on a road trip together and hang out and get some dinner and get a hotel and maybe hit a casino or two on the way, or whatever. But I just think that's beautiful that traditions like that are cool. And every time I talk to them, I want to know more. I was like, well, where you stopping and where you going and how far you going to drive? And, I think I want to do, it's just great conversation. It makes you feel good.
Yeah,
absolutely. They know that they have traditions, or starting new family traditions, or people have had old family traditions for years. And like me and you, we used to go to the football game.
Yes.
Before, we lost 2 years in a row because of COVID.
Yep.
But I think we're going to start going,
let's start going again next year.
Yeah, we'll go.
If we can.
Yeah, we'll go.
If we can. If I'm not doing the football game.
I even said, later on in life, if you live in California and I live in Alaska, on Thanksgiving, we're going to fly to Middleboro and see the football game.
Exactly.
Because that's been our tradition since you were, 10 years old?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's important to have.
Okay.
They're not silly.
A quick and good luck on good luck, Bill, on your journey.
Godspeed.
home.
Godspeed. Yeah.
All right. So weather. Not weather. Sorry.
Sports.
My brain here today.
Sports.
Sports today. Yes, we're gonna do playoff sports today. So we're just gonna only talk about the teams that are currently in a playoff run today. We have the Celtics starting round number 2 of the NBA playoffs today. The Milwaukee Bucks are their opponent. Game 1 today at 1 p.m. Good luck to the Celtics in this series. And also good luck to the Bruins as they start a series with the Carolina Hurricanes, round 1 of the NHL playoffs. And I also want to congratulate the Massasoit baseball team, the Massasoit Community College baseball team, for making it to the NJCAA Division 21 tournament. They made it. They beat CCRI to make it to the tournament. So congratulations to Massasoit, and good luck on a good playoff run. All right, so that is your sports update. Kind of quick, but not a lot of sports today. I only did the playoff sports for the most part today. So yeah. All right, it is 7:20. When we come back, we are going to talk about one more topic. That is our secondary topic. This first segment was our secondary topics. We're going to do one more secondary topic, and then we're going to get right to our main course, our main appetizer for today.
So we're having the soup and the salad now.
Yes, the soup and the salad, and we're going to
later
get into our
on,
main
we got to
course.
get the big meatloaf dinner, right?
Yes, we're going to have the big meatloaf dinner coming up, and that is the history of Amtrak. That's coming up. We're just going to do one more little topic, and then I will be doing that. All right. So let's take a break, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review for May 1st, 2022.
Hand me my phone, sir.
Here you go, sir.
I got a frog in my throat.
Yeah.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome home. We have members from nearly all 50 states and living abroad. Many members continue to serve in our armed forces, with several serving in combat areas now. We sponsor or participate in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a nonprofit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join or support, please visit cvma2-2.org.
136.
Hi, this is Martha Clopen, your host for Medicare Moment with Martha. Each week, we present the latest information on health, legal, and lifestyle issues that affect you and your family. It's fascinating, fast-paced, and fun as we explore all aspects of the Medicare maze. So join me for Medicare Moment with Martha, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sunday mornings at 9 on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM WVBF, your hometown radio station.
Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 Spark Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car. They are a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies. You can reach them at 508-583-1495. They are open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4 on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be disappointed. 508-583-1495.
Hi, this is Jim Larkin. Hope you can join me every Sunday from noon to 2 o'clock here on WBBF, the sound of the Emerald Isle. We'll have some great Irish music, traditional, country, and contemporary, and sometimes some live singers in the studio. And to make you laugh, some Irish comedy. That's Sundays from noon to 2 right here on WBBF, 1530 Taunton, Middleboro, and on the internet at hometowntalkradio.com.
And we're back here on Middleboro in Review for the 1st of May, 2022. Before we get to our last secondary topic, we wanted to just do a little program update, program schedule. We usually do this every once in a while. We have a great day of programming planned for you. I want to ask Dawn real quick, so that I can go get these programs. I'm looking right at them, but they're on the chair next to me. I had to go grab them real quick. I want to ask Dawn, how was your week, Dawn?
My week, as you go get the CDs?
Yes.
Fine, you got the CDs. He's got to look at them now. I'm just joking. It was all right. We cut some grass yesterday. That's why I got a little frog in my voice today, because driving around the lawn tractor yesterday. So a lot of blowing of dust and grass, but I had fun driving around in circles on the lawn tractor. That's about it. How about you, Joe? You all set?
I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah. You got everything together over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine. All right. We have After Us, Bread of Life, as After Us, with Pastor Ortez Van Cross every Sunday morning, 8:05 to 8:35, or 8:30, somewhere around there, 8:33. Great program that he brings to us, Bread of Life.
I love when he comes in.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's just the nicest person you're ever going to meet in the world, and he speaks your level. He speaks, just like talking to people who just speak your wavelength. That's kind of the way I explain it, talking to him, and I really look forward when Pastor Van Cross comes in, because it's one of those people, when they walk in the door and they put a smile on my face, and we need more people like that. I might comment on all of them now. I don't know. Why not, right?
Absolutely. All right. After that, the Rosary, the Sunday Rosary. 9 o'clock is Medicare Moment with Martha. A great show about Medicare.
And she's got such a nice voice, too.
Yeah, anyone who's approaching the age of 65 definitely should check out that show.
Yeah, it is a good show, and definitely Martha has such a happy disposition about it. You know what I mean? She talks nicely. Sometimes when you listen to shows, sometimes you don't have the best. I don't know. Sometimes you hear people when they do broadcast shows or whatever on the radio or even TV, they don't have an inviting voice.
And she's also talked recent shows about Social Security offices
Right.
have been reopened as of the beginning of the month, and some of them have reopened. I don't know if the one in Taunton has, but I know some have. So definitely a good sign as well that Social Security offices are reopening. Another positive, encouraging sign here of the pandemic. Here at the end of the pandemic, hopefully. Also, at 9:30, Keys of the Kingdom with Pastor Naomi Burton. At 10 o'clock, we will have All on God with Edna Isaac. At 11 o'clock, Musical Odyssey with Ed Sudka. Who we'll have on, actually, in the month of May. I believe it's the 22nd of May, if I'm not mistaken. So, just about 3 weeks' time, we will have him on with us.
This will be his third interview with him.
Yeah.
And they were great. They were great. We don't interview too much, so when somebody says you will get an interviewer, that makes you feel pretty good.
Yeah.
When somebody comments here, because I'm not looking for comments. I just want to get through. I just want to put out we just want to put out a decent radio show for the listeners, for the people.
Exactly.
And but when you get a comment like that, compliment, it makes you feel good, especially from somebody who you look at somebody and you look at somebody like Ed, and he's just like a wealth of intelligence. Just by him putting those shows together, just by the research and knowing classical, and that is just passionate. And you have to admire that.
All right, noontime. Sounds of the Emerald Isle, Jim Larkin, 2 hours of Irish music, comedy, and a lot of great music and comedy as well. Jim Larkin, great show, 2 hours, 12 to 2. And we finish up the day with Stand Up Strong with Ed Miller and Bishop Tony Branch. A 1 hour program about issues going on nationally and also locally in Brockton.
And other
it's
towns,
a great show as well, and other towns as well. So it's a great show to listen to.
Those guys are great. Nicest guys you ever want to meet. And it's cool that they have I think, other than you and I here, there's only other co-host show.
Yeah.
On WBBF, which is cool. I like the concept of it.
Absolutely.
2 people co-hosts, because you could jump ideas off each other, which is, I think, good.
Absolutely. Okay, our next topic we want to talk about. Yesterday, Barry Sanders had a guest on his show, a social worker, and a caller called in asking about how the loss of a pet affects other pets. And I found this article. It's from hillspet.com. And it goes into the grief in dogs and cats and how to recognize a grieving pet. There's some different things to look out for, like changes in appetite, acting withdrawn or despondent, whining or howling in dogs, or yowling and crying in cats, changes in personality of your pet, pacing or searching the house for the lost pet, and there are several other ones as well. And also ways to help your grieving pet as well, like staying positive, engaging in new activities, doing more of what your pets already love to do, and much more. If you want to read this entire article, again, it's hillspet.com, and the article is called How the Loss of a Pet Affects Other Pets. And this is from 2018, April of 2018. So I just wanted to mention that really quick. As a caller had called into Barry's show yesterday, asking about that, and I wanted to mention that today because that's a pretty important thing to talk about as well. Don,
Yes.
your thoughts on that on that topic?
Never ever thought about it that way. But all living beings must have emotions. They must have something.
Yep.
And but you see it. I mean, if you I can't believe I'm a cat though. Cats just
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at a dog and go bad, and they'll look at it,
Yeah.
and it'll give you this look and walk away. But a cat does not care. It does not care. You know what I mean? Something break, don't look at me.
Yeah.
I'm the cat. Something break, look at the dog. You know what I mean? That's just their attitude. It's just so it's hard to believe that the cat would have it, but it's.
But yeah, at the end of the day, all animals do have emotions.
But mostly dogs.
Yeah, it's important to talk about.
You can pull emotions out of dogs.
Absolutely.
I think by by looking at them and I vice versa. Some people are attached to their dogs and their animals.
Yeah.
I mean, my buddy Kevin brings his dogs with him everywhere if he can. He's got 3 golden retrievers. That's a. That's something, you know. that's definitely a trip.
All right, let's take a commercial break early, about 5 minutes early, so we have a little bit more time to talk about our main topic, and that is the history of Amtrak. So we'll do that, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro Review on 1530 AM, 1530 AM, 99.7 FM, WVBF. We'll be right back. I turned it down this way. There we go.
Losing your voice.
What?
You're losing your voice.
What?
You're losing your voice.
I am?
Well, I don't know. Supposed to be all right tomorrow.
Oh, I think.
No, it's not. No, I think you're all right. Just
Okay.
don't do too much talking today.
Yeah.
You know. But you do less talking on the news than you do in the show, don't you?
Yeah.
Getting back to life means getting the vaccine.
No.
The vaccine is safe.
No.
The vaccine
No,
is
you do
effective.
more.
Any side effects
Yeah.
are mild and short-lived.
Because you got a
Or
lot of
sustained talking.
because you get a lot of like commercials and stuff and a lot of little
After
things.
age 65, immunity starts to wane. Your immune system
Well,
just
yeah,
isn't
about
as
40.
strong as it
About an
used to
hour.
be.
Well,
And that's
no,
why
not even
it's
that.
important
Maybe
for people
about the
aged
same time, I
65
think,
and
of
older
talking.
to get a booster dose of vaccine. Boosters
I
are a
I
standard
always
way
know when I don't have my
of
coffee. I mean, I thought a
fighting
Pepsi would be fine because of the caffeine, but
It's not.
Not.
No. You gotta have coffee.
I'm gonna go. I'll go get some after the show.
Yeah, I didn't even have my.
You want a bagel or something or something to eat? Or
Probably a couple donuts would be fine for me. Still trying to eat, light.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Did you have your dinner last night?
Yeah, it was good. As always.
Yeah.
That place is always good.
St. Vincent de Paul.
Grandpa's funny. I'll buy, and then we order steak tips. Oh,
It's expensive. The place is expensive.
Yeah, what do you
They're
want?
good.
What do you
They're
want?
good.
I mean,
They're
just
good.
let's get some macaroni and cheese. I mean,
They're
it's
good
just
though. Yeah. They're really good.
right. Just
The best places are expensive.
yeah.
That's just the way of life. That's the way it
Oh, well, the
is.
inflation just got everybody. But I mean, we stop going to restaurants because
That's the way it's always been, though. The best places are the most expensive ones,
Right.
for the most part.
Right.
I mean, you have your exceptions.
Right.
Obviously, you have your exceptions, but some of the best places are pretty.
well,
pretty
nothing's
good.
worse than buying food and having to go to waste because you didn't cook it. So
Exactly.
May the good Lord bless you and keep you safe.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle.
Want to say good morning to
is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United
whoever
States
is on the
Armed
Facebook
Forces
Live this
who
morning.
ride
Good morning.
motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms.
did you play?
Our focus is to help veteran care
Lynn
facilities
Shapos?
provide a
Do they have
warm
it?
Yeah, that's next.
clothing, shelter, and guidance.
That's next.
You gotta
We need to say thank you and welcome home.
get a hold of Tom
We have members
soon.
from
Like
nearly
I'll
Today.
say set.
all 50 states
Today.
and living abroad.
You think he's up now?
Members continue to serve
Call
in our
him
armed
later.
forces. with
Nah,
some
I'd wait
serving in
till
combat
11.
areas now.
Yeah, I mean, you can start him up in a couple weeks
And many
and just do an odd
Should I
ball.
text him instead?
charity events
Just send him a
each year.
text?
And as
Yeah,
a
later.
nonprofit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran
I
charities.
say June, July, and August would be
The
better for
Combat
him
Veteran
to
Motorcycle
advertise, you know?
Association and how
He needs to
you
pick
can
3
join
months.
or support.
So you
Please
gotta ask
visit
him what 3 months you want to pick.
CVMA
Okay.
2-2.org.
Williams Trading Post, serving the residents of Middleboro since 1949. It's the perfect place to get a gift for a friend or family member this spring.
It was a good music choice you picked out
Yeah.
for this one.
Garden supplies.
How many music did you have?
They also
Millions of
have
them in
an
that?
antique shop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Open Monday to Wednesday, 10 to 5. Thursday through Sunday, 9 to 5. Visit them at 556 Wareham Street or call 508-947-1598.
All right, Amtrak coming up. Your mic needs to go back up. And we're back here on Middleboro in Review. It is 7:39, and it is time for our main course topic today, and that is Amtrak. Today is May 1st. Today is the 51st year of Amtrak being in operation, and I wanted to talk about the history of Amtrak and its future during this segment. First off, what is Amtrak? Well, Amtrak is it's called National Railroad Passenger Corporation, but it is doing business as Amtrak. It's a passenger railroad service that provides medium and long distance intercity rail service in the contiguous United States, except for one state, and 9 cities in Canada.
2 states.
Two states. And also, Amtrak is a blend of the words America and track.
Technically 3 states.
3 states, okay. And founded in 1971, the quasi-public corporation, as a quasi-public corporation, to operate many U.S. passenger rail routes, Amtrak receives a combination of state and federal subsidies, but is managed as a for-profit organization. The United States federal government, through the Secretary of Transportation, owns all the company's issued and outstanding preferred stock. Amtrak's headquarters is located on one block west of Union Station in Washington, D.C. Serves more than 500 destinations in 46 states and 3 Canadian provinces, operating more than 300 trains daily, over 21,400 miles of track. Amtrak owns approximately 623 miles of this track and operates an additional 132 miles of track. Subtrack sections allow trains to run as fast as 150 miles per hour. So that's a little bit of the history. Now, another important thing to talk about with Amtrak. First of all, Don, your thoughts about that part of it, the history, the beginning, the history of that. What thoughts do you have?
Well, it was shaky at the beginning because they had a lot of rolling stock in 1971, which was just junk. A lot of the different rail lines that merged into Amtrak, their equipment was in tough shape. A lot of their equipment was from the 50s. So it was a hodgepodge and a mix match of all these different colors. And all they really did in 71 is slapped on an Amtrak sticker. So you'd have Penn Central colors. You'd have all these different colors going down the line. So it was shaky at the beginning, but yeah.
Okay, another important thing to mention about Amtrak is who joined Amtrak when it first started May 1st, 1971. There were 26 railroads in the United States that were eligible to participate in the formation of Amtrak. 20 of those chose to join in 1971, and one more eventually did join in 1979. The remaining five, 4 of them ultimately being discontinued their service, and 1 being taken over by a state agency. The participating railroads include the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, which is probably one of the more big names on the list, maybe. The Chesapeake and Ohio Railway, another big name on this list. The Illinois Central Railroad, the Louisville and Nashville Railroad, the Missouri Pacific Railroad, Norfolk and Western Railway, Northwestern Pacific Railroad, Penn Central Transportation, Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railroad, Seaboard Coastline Railroad, Southern Pacific Railroad, Union Pacific Railroad, Gulf, Mobile, and Ohio Railroad, Grand Trunk Western Railroad, Delaware and Hudson Railway, Chicago and Northwestern Railway, Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Paul, and Pacific Railroad, Central of Georgia Railway, Burlington Northern Railroad, Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, which we just talked about, and Topeka and Santa Fe Railway as well. Don, your thoughts on the 20?
Well, every line has its predecessor railroads. So anybody who's really good at it, and I'm not that good at it as far as knowing what line you're on all the time. I know Boston and Maine is part of the Downeaster, but you didn't mention that. But that might be one of the lines that Amtrak owns. I know Amtrak owns the Northeast Corridor, 467 miles. They own that track from Boston to Union Station to D.C.
Okay.
They own that. But and then they probably, and maybe the Northeast too, but the Downeaster. But yeah, depending on where you ride in the country, you said what was the one you said about the one in Florida there? The
Florida East Coast.
The Florida East Coast is
that was one of them that didn't
do it. Didn't
join, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Seaboard Airline, that's the run to Tampa.
Yep.
So from from Savannah or whatnot, or I think Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
So that line from Richmond to Tampa and points down to Miami was that railroad. So anybody who's really good at it knows what alignment they were on.
Yep.
Because it's all one blend now, one stew as far as Amtrak's concerned. But if you ride the whole system, you actually at one point in time are riding on all these different lines from yesteryear.
Absolutely. Okay, the non-participating railroads. There were 6 eligible to participate in the formation of Amtrak that declined to spin off their passenger rail services. The intercity passenger operations of those 6 railroads eventually were absorbed by Amtrak or another governmental entity, or discontinued. The 6 railroads are as follows. The Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific Railroad continued to receive subsidies from the state of Illinois. It discontinued its 2 remaining intercity passenger trains, the Peoria Rocket and Quad Cities Rocket, on December 31st, 1978. The Chicago South Shore and South Bend Railroad continued to operate service. Public funding for its commuter-oriented trains began in 1977 with the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District, fully taking over the South Shore Line. That was in 1989. The Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad feared congestion from hosting a revived California Zephyr on its single-track main line, It operated its last Rio Grande Zephyr in 1983, and Amtrak's San Francisco Zephyr was renamed to the California Zephyr. The Georgia Railroad received tax benefits from the state of Georgia so long as it ran mixed trains. The Seaboard System Railroad, its successor, discontinued the last mixed train on May 6, 1983. The Reading Company determined that its Philadelphia-Newark service was outside Amtrak's scope and was later operated by Conrail and NJ Transit, New Jersey Transit, who discontinued it in 1982. The Southern Railway did not join until 1979, February 1st, 1979, at which point it conveyed its Southern Crescent to Amtrak. And the uneligible railroads, a few major railroads with operations in the United States were not eligible to participate in the formation of Amtrak. These are as follows. The Alaska Railroad provided long-distance service but was already owned by the government, the United States government. The Canadian Pacific's Atlantic, though it crossed northern Maine, it was considered a Canada-centric service and not relevant to Amtrak. It was taken over by Via Rail in 1978 and ran until 1994. Until 1977, a Canadian National Railway, Winnipeg Thunder Bay local service also crossed part of northern Minnesota. The Erie Lackawanna Hoboken Port Jarvis service was considered an ineligible commuter service in 1973. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority began subsidizing continued operation. And the one Don wanted to know about, the Florida East Coast discontinued its last passenger service in 1968, leaving the FEC ineligible to join Amtrak. Passenger services resumed under the preview of privately owned Brightline in 2018. So they are back. Brightline is back in the Florida East Coast area there. The Don, your thoughts on that real quick?
Yeah, that's as far as Florida East Coast, there's talk about running trains to Jacksonville too, running it straight up from Miami to Jacksonville. So I think just to have rail lines, running, you're gonna see a lot of private going. You're gonna see a lot of private lines popping up, and then I think, in a way, the Amtrak lines that aren't really too too productive in a way, they might be able to streamline them or eliminate them altogether. But Amtrak needs to kind of step up on some of their lines. The trains need to move a little faster in some cases.
The Kansas City Southern Railway, having discontinued its Southern Bell in 1969, had no remaining passenger service despite its size. The Sioux Line Railroad was permitted to discontinue regular passenger service in the 60s in exchange for allowing passengers to ride in cabooses on freights between parts of Michigan and Wisconsin as well. The mixed trains lasted until 1986, making the Sioux Line the last Class 1 railroad in the continental United States with non-subsidized passenger service. The Western Pacific Railroad discontinued the California Zephyr in 1970, ending passenger service on its route. It refused to discuss resumption of the service with Amtrak. So that is all of that there. Now, moving on to the future.
One more thing before you say the
Yes.
future here. South Dakota has no Amtrak service whatsoever. Not even bus through service. So as far as the continental U.S., nothing. Alaska, you mentioned, they got, and Hawaii has like a narrow gauge tourist train. That's about it. So they don't have any freight lines on Hawaii at all. Obviously, I figured there'd be a small one. I've been looking around, but so those are the three states that are not affected. Not affected. They'll have Amtrak service.
So Amtrak, for the future, they've started to roll out new trains, new different trains as well, which are now in service, some of them. And I've seen videos online of people taking those new trains, and testing out a lot of these are night trains, so a lot of they have rooms and stuff, so a lot of people on YouTube post videos of their experiences. So that's been going on a lot recently.
New Viewliner.
New trains.
New Viewliner.
The Viewliners, yes.
Yeah, and they got new Viewliners. Looks like they're rolling out some new carriages soon. They've had new baggage cars, for a few years now. What's the name of that new one? The new Excella. They got the new Excella train. Should be going into service this year. It's going to replace the old Excellas. The old Excella trains have been in service since 2000. So, they're running 20 years or so.
And a lot of the money, the federal money that was given to Amtrak is, I'm sure, being used to improve the Northeast Corridor.
Right.
As well,
right.
As well as many others, other train, Amtrak stuff in the area as well. Also, some local stuff happening. Amtrak and CON are going to be restoring Hartford and Springfield trains. And also another thing that is going on as well is Amtrak is going to be getting a seasonal route from New York to the Berkshires this year as well. So a lot going on.
To the Berkshires?
Yes, I can look that up here. I'll give you some details here in just a second. Amtrak is going to be launching a new route from between New York City and the Berkshires in Massachusetts this summer. So I'm not sure exactly when.
I wonder what alignment they're going to take.
It's going to be a summer weekend route between New York City and the Berkshires. The seasonal pilot route will run from this year to next to determine the public's demand. The $66 billion grant from infrastructure bill will support new routes like this upcoming Berkshire Flyer. So that's huge news as well. That's massive news.
I wonder if that's going to be the Waterbury, Connecticut line running north from there, Torrington, and going up that way. I'm trying to figure out what. Metro North has a line that runs from Grand Central to Waterbury, Connecticut, and it terminates there. So I'm just thinking in my head, what way would they go? They're not going to run the, unless they cross over and head in that way, but run up the Hudson River line up that way. Probably not. So it sounds like it's a direct route in.
Okay, one more thing about Amtrak in the future. You can go onto their website, and they have a lot of information about the future as well on there. So that's another great place to go find some information about their future. All right, today in histories. We have today in histories to do. 1863, American Civil War. The Battle of Chancellorsville begins. One of the most important battles in the Civil War. 1900, the Schofield mine disaster kills over 200 men in Schofield, Utah, in what is to date the 5th worst mining incident in United States history. That's our two Today in Histories. Don, your thoughts on the Today in Histories?
When was that mining? When was it?
1900.
Wow. Again, it's funny how we go to Western Pennsylvania every once in a while, and we've talked to a lot of people who work in mines. Like, remember the Bill's neighbor there? Okay.
Yep.
He actually passed away. I found out a couple days ago. My condolences go to my buddy Bill's neighbor's family. I don't want to mention any names on the air, but I was talking to him a few years ago, and he worked in the mines, and Bill's father worked in the mines, my buddy Bill's father, and on I-79, is it 79? Yeah, in Washington, not Washington, it's right on the line, West Virginia line and Pennsylvania line on I-70, I think Interstate 79. There's a rest area, and if you go inside that rest area, I think it's the northbound side, there's a whole display of West Virginia and West Virginia and Western PA mining and pictures and artifacts and tools and stuff like that. And his father's, I think his father has a lantern or something that belonged to them. Remember seeing that?
Yes.
Remember what it was?
I think it was a lantern.
Yeah, I think it was something.
And then maybe a hat as well.
It was a hat. It was a hat with his name on it.
Yeah, I think there was also a
It was a
lantern
miner's
there.
hat, right.
Yeah.
And it's great that you can pull in and you can see his father's hat with the history of Western PA and
yeah.
But I mean that's just terrible when something like that happens.
Yeah. Our birthdays today. 1857, Theo van Gogh. He was a Dutch art dealer and also the brother of Vincent van Gogh. 1916, Glenn Ford, Canadian-American actor and producer, born on this day. 1930, Little Walter Jacobs, American blues harp player and singer. Deaths on this day, Miss Elizabeth, American wrestler and manager, the manager for Randy Macho Savage. And 2015, Grace Lee Whitney, American actress, and Grace Lee Whitney starred in a little known TV show, called, she was in the shows and the films. A little known TV show and film called Star Trek. So she was in that. She played Janice Rand in Star Trek.
What you say about Glenn Ford, and he was a well-established actor, through the years. My first experience with him, as being someone my age, in 1978, was Superman, and he was Superman's dad.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, going to the movies, my first, notion of Glenn Ford was Superman's dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I just liked his character. It was a brief character, but I just liked it. He just captured me.
Yeah.
It was such a small role because he ended up passing away at the beginning of the movie. But that's funny how you say Glenn Ford because anybody who knows Glenn Ford knows he's been acting for years. But for me as a child going to see the first movie, that's my first experience. That's my first view of him as far as and liking the character.
All right, that'll do it for today's program. I hope everyone enjoyed today's program. We will be back next week with another edition of Middleboro in Review, May 8th, 2022. And again, reminder, May 22nd edition of Middleboro in Review, we will have a guest calling in and Circa. So he'll be calling in 3 weeks from today. So that does it for today's program. I hope everyone enjoyed and have a great week, everybody. And remember, Chris Keach is off this week, so I will be doing the news tomorrow. Morning Wake Up News, 7 to 9. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for the programs for today as well. A lot of great programs coming up. All right, bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Yep.
Good.
You think it was a good show?
Perfect show, I think.
The voices, though, aren't the best today, but...
Yeah, our voices kind of...
Both of us.
Bye-bye, everybody.